estimate is 50 to 100 cats.
You can feel his rib bones quite easily.
We got a call about this guy here with a fish hook in his nose.
He just basically swallowed the food.
He just grabbed hold with his paws and just...
Well, this is going to be kind of a challenge. There comes the tip, and there's the barb.
Detroit, Michigan. Pittsville, USA is home to the Michigan Humane Society, the area's leading nonprofit animal welfare organization. At its heart are 4 investigators who respond to over 4,000 complaints of animal cruelty every year. The latest one promises to be a challenge. Just outside the city, a homeowner has allowed his house to become overrun with cats. The local authorities need the expertise of the Humane Society to round up the cats.
All of the extra equipment that we're going to have is going to be stored in the back of Unit 33.
Senior investigator Debbie McDonald briefs the cat-catching team on the hazards it will face.
As you know, we're going into a house with, right now our estimate is 50 to 100 cats. Everybody's going to get a mask that's going to have an ammonia filter and an organic vapor filter on it. Make sure that you have hats if you want to keep your hair covered and protected. When we get to the house, myself and Mark and Sean are going to go in and evaluate the situation.
Okay, we're all set. Thank you.
Well, what we've done is we've broken up into different teams, and the more you get involved in situations like that, the more you realize organization at the beginning makes it easier once you get there. We have 3 teams that are going to be trying to catch the cats. And you usually work in pairs so that somebody can operate, a cat grabber, and then somebody can close the box for you. Then we have another team that's just going to be putting together cardboard carriers and taking the carriers and putting them out in the vehicles and making sure they're secured in the vehicles and keeping our count for us.
Catching the cats is one problem. Staying healthy is another. Cat urine creates ammonia, which is harmful to breathe.
Well, some of the dangers we encounter are respiratory. I mean, the ammonia is very strong in there. We're taking precautions with masks. But cat claws and cat bites can be dangerous because it can be such an infectious bite.
The local animal control officers are waiting to meet McDonald.
Let's get a McDonald.
Investigator Sean Hairston puts on a brave face for the job that lies ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm very apprehensive of what's about to happen right now because I know we're going to go in here and it's going to be a magnitude of cats hiding in rafters and a little bit everywhere. So it's going to be like a little bit of a chase.
The cats were up in the rafters when we went down there. They were scattering, and the feces was just...
The tile in there is actually the feces, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Once you go in there, you'll see what we're talking about. Down in the basement area, you got feces approximately, I would say, 6 to 8 inches high in a certain area.
He spends $30 a day on food. So he has no problem with buying the food.
Yeah.
He just needs to get out of hand. Out of hand,
Yep.
good intentions, and
Yep.
that's where it lays.
It's a familiar story to McDonald. It's all too easy for a well-meaning owner to let things spiral completely out of control.
Well, right now, what I'm putting on is, just some regular boots, and they kind of high up, to keep the fleas off my legs, and I'm going to put a suit on in a little while, basically, so we won't be, getting feces on us, and because it's going to be horrible in there, because you got feces-covered floor, you're going to have urine odors, it's going to be kind of strong. That's why we have our respirators, and we got cat grabbers, basically called cat claws, and our nets, so we should be able to go in there and do a pretty good job in getting these animals out of there.
Arms out. Close your eyes.
Basically just spraying on, some flea and tick spray so we can go in there without worrying about the bugs sticking to us, so when we come up out of there, as we transport them, we won't take little critters home. You know what I mean?
Aaron?
Three investigators go inside to make a preliminary assessment of the situation.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Oh, there's a bunch of them here.
You got dead cats in here.
Okay, why don't we do
Push
this?
them upstairs.
Let's do it out and get a plan. I just want to listen to them, you know? You shut the basement door?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is clear the basement to the main floor. So we clear up the basement up to the main floor, then we can work on the main floor and there's not so many spots for them to hide. Everything's urine soaked, covered in fecal, like piles of it. So traction's gonna be an issue. You know, we just need to get in there and get at it and see how we do.
The battle of wits against the cats at the collector's house gets underway. And later, investigators rush to help a puppy with a painful injury.
We got a call about this guy here with a fish hook in his nose.
When Animal Cops Detroit returns. A large team from the Michigan Humane Society starts work on clearing a house overrun with cats.
Don't start grabbing cats yet. We're gonna get the basement first.
The strategy is to clear the basement, then seal it, so the cats upstairs can't hide there.
Come play.
It's immediately obvious that the cats aren't used to human contact. They're very aggressive. The living conditions are atrocious. It's likely many of the cats have diseases. For one, it's clearly too late. The team uses cat claws, tools specially designed to restrain cats without hurting them. It's important to check for cats hiding in the rafters.
Shut the door, go outside, take a break.
The team decides to stop for some fresh air and to assess the situation.
Hopefully, we can get everybody out of here. The problem is there's a lot of kittens, and kittens tend to hide, so we're in there. We want to make sure we make a thorough search and get everybody out.
After a short break, it's back to work, this time on the ground floor.
Trying to get in and out.
The cats on the ground floor are every bit as wild and aggressive as the ones in the basement.
Here we go.
These filters are making a hell of a difference.
Catching them without hurting them takes considerable skill and patience.
Well, just trying to get the cats in the boxes. He grabbed a hold of me with his claws and did not want to go.
Like getting all of that.
Yeah, pretty much. My hand's still kind of wet, so I don't know if it's
Well,
gonna
if you put the glove on, at least it'll
Yeah,
protect
at
it.
least that was the worst of it right there. He just grabbed hold with his claws and was just not wanting to let go.
After stopping for first aid and fresh air, it's back to work again.
There's the next, Jan.
Before we get in. There's a program over here.
Don't change anything till everybody's in.
It's not the worst I've seen, but it's pretty bad. I mean, there's a lot of cats here. The sanitation is very bad. And, I mean, you got a lot of sick cats, and that's bad. Well, so far we've removed close to somewhere in the area of 60 cats. A lot of them are kittens. But we're doing pretty good. We're getting everything pretty easy. One good thing is a lot of the rooms were closed off already, so the cats are pretty confined to the living room, dining room, and the kitchen. So it's making our job more easy.
That part is clear. Let's just work forward.
It's unusual for a cat hoarder, but the cat's owner has cooperated fully with the city authorities and recognized that his hoarding has created a serious problem. Because of this, no action will be taken against him.
I think we're close to the end. We're done pretty well, and we're down to the last few, I think. Just, we want to make sure that, we get as many out as we can before we have to use laptop.
Any remaining cats will be caught using humane live traps. The local animal control officers, or ACOs, will return to collect them. In total, the team has removed 1 dead cat and 90 live ones. Now they'll be taken back to the Humane Society shelter in Detroit to have their health and temperament evaluated.
Well, I think this went really well. Our strategy worked. We cleared the basement, sealed off the basement, had all the cats contained on the main floor, and then we were able to catch it from there. If we had left that basement open, gone in the main floor, and had all those cats go into the basement, everything would have been in the rafters, and everywhere we had a really difficult time getting them out. This way we were able to have them in a small area, and we just continued to work until we got them all boxed up.
On the west side of Detroit, Michigan Humane Society investigators are en route to deal with a disturbing call.
We received a priority call. There's supposed to be a puppy at this location with a fish hook stuck in his mouth. We're not really sure how he got the fish hook in his mouth, so we're going to go out here and hopefully make contact with somebody and see if we can't get that hook out.
There, right there.
Senior investigator Debbie McDonald sees what they're looking for.
From the Michigan Humane Society, we got a call about this guy here with a fish hook in his nose. Okay, I mean, what's going on with Okay, well, he can't stay like that. I mean, he's got to get that out. Is it,
I don't know. He's gotta go.
yeah, he needs to come on us, because that's not coming out easy. Do you know how he got where he got it from, or how he got it in there, or just got it from, huh? Yeah. And what's his name?
The woman agrees to surrender the puppy, so Ramos needs to gather some information.
The dog it's healthy enough. I mean, it has good weight. It has some sores on its back. I don't know what that's from, but that bishop is in there pretty deep. And my concern was that it was going to get scooted in that door, and we weren't going to be able to get our hands on it. He needs to get into the shelter and get some medical attention.
That's a pretty big puppy.
The investigators are worried that the puppy is in pain and susceptible to infection.
Well, he seems like a pretty nice puppy. Seems very sociable. He likes being around people. So I don't see why he wouldn't be able to find a home.
The fish hook was in the puppy's nose for looks like 2 or 3 days. I don't know if that's long enough legally to pursue an animal cruelty case. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that the puppy had to suffer through that and didn't get medical attention, but that's something that's going to be up to our veterinarians or prosecutors to make that kind of determination.
He wants to look out that window. So.
Over on the other side of the city, investigators Sean Hairston and Mike Dow are hoping to find major improvement at an address they visited before.
The pet owner basically just needed to do a couple of simple things. The dog was underweight, and then also they just needed to move the dog closer to the doghouse. And what we're going to do now is return to the location and see if the pet owner complied with the notice that we left, because we haven't got a phone call from him.
The shepherd mix dog is closer to the doghouse, but he's still very skinny. To complicate things, there's now a puppy at the house too. The way she's tethered could be dangerous.
What's up, baby? What's up? I know.
There's no one home, and not enough signs of improvement to satisfy Hairston and Dow. They decide to remove both dogs.
This puppy's in good condition, but he does have some hair loss on his ears. But other than that, he's in pretty good condition. But we're going to go ahead and remove him before he winds up in the same position as the other dog, underweight, out here on the porch with no shelter, and we just advised them on sheltering the animal. So we're just going to send them a little message, and they'll get in touch with us now.
We need them both coming through.
The shepherd mix seems very aggressive, but it's possible he's just defending his territory.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna cut this check. No.
That's a lot of fur, though.
I can still see the stuff sunk in right here.
Yeah. Just like I thought when we came out here before, the dog is underweight. What you see here is a lot of fur, but when you actually put your hands on it, you can feel the dog's spine right here, and you can feel his rib bones quite easily. It's basically fur and
My
bone.
chain look like it's going to start cutting in his neck, too.
Basically, the dog that was in the yard was the first dog that we saw when we came out the first time. And just like we thought, once you touch him and get under all that fur, it's basically bone, so he's underweight. The second dog was actually not at the location the first time we came out, and we just removed that dog because they disregarded our notice the first time and went and got another dog, basically saying, forget about what we were telling them. So hopefully we'll get in touch with somebody and take further action.
At the shelter, evaluator Jan Ramos gets to work.
Puppy's cool.
It looks like a Jack Russell mix. Is it owner surrender or strike?
I'll bring him like a whole nother family.
The puppy seems in a better state than the shepherd mix. She'll be evaluated later.
Are you from the same home?
Yes.
I'm going to take some pictures of you. Oh, there you go. You eat that.
The dog is clearly ravenous.
And I gotta try to cut this tail. He ate that whole bowl without barely chewing. He just basically swallowed the food. I mean, that's a definite sign right there. Come here, man. Come here. Come on. Right over here.
The shepherd mix weighs less than 56 pounds, but should be nearer 70. From now on, he'll be fed a normal diet. If he gains weight, it will indicate he simply wasn't being fed properly before, and it may be possible to take legal action against his owner. It's been a day since a team from the Michigan Humane Society removed 91 cats from the house. Sadly, many of them were badly diseased, and the vast majority were so wild that they attacked the staff during their health evaluation. The society felt it was best to humanely euthanize them. Evaluators Sheila Carroll and Jan Ramos are working with 2 kittens, the only ones that seem to have a reasonable temperament.
The most important thing with these guys is checking them for diseases they may have been exposed to in a home like that. And we want to test blood for diseases like feline leukemia and see if he's been exposed to anything like that in multiple cat households. There's a higher risk of it. Out of what we've seen, these were probably the most aggressive cats that I have seen out of a collector house. A lot of them are in poor physical condition, or they're shy, they're not social. But these were actually aggressive animals. But we did go through, those total number of cats, and we did go through each one individually. But we wanted each one to have a chance.
One person cannot give over 70 cats the proper socialization.
The bigger kitten, I have a lot of concerns about. He's so frightened that he's getting aggressive this morning about being handled. So we have some concerns about his social issues. But this little one, my main concern is his health. He's awfully small, and so...
He could have been the attention seeker in the house. I mean, there are cats that, if you're sitting there, they are the attention seekers. So he might have went up to the elderly man and said, hey, you know what, I want attention. Please give it to me.
One of the big problems when you have cats from conditions like that is that they don't use the litter box. You can see that there were just feces all over. They don't have sanitary conditions to learn to use a litter box. So they either have to be trained to use a litter box, or sometimes they just won't use one at all. And that poses a problem for adoption if the cat won't use the litter box.
Now you get the hard part. You gotta give him a name. It's a little boy.
I think we should call him Uno, because
Uno the only one.
Because he may be the one and only. That's cute.
The puppy undergoes surgery to try to remove the fishhook from his nose.
We need a little more muscle here, Mark.
And later, the future of the skinny shepherd mix is uncertain. When Animal Cops Detroit returns. Back out on the road, Dow and Hairston are on the way to check out another allegation of cruelty.
We received information yesterday stating that 2 dogs was inside a garage, tangled on short chains. So what we want to do, we want to make the location, observe the dog's living condition, advise the pet owner, proper tethering, or see if they want to just relinquish ownership of the dog, see if they don't have time for it, and also check out the dog's living conditions as well.
Damn.
Hairston sees immediately the living conditions are very poor. The team needs to speak to the owner.
Now we'll be wearing the same leash. But it's that tight. It ain't that close, bro. They like face to face.
How you doing? So, man, investigators from the Michigan Humane Society Cruelty Division got a complaint about them dogs back there in the backyard. We need to talk to the pet owner if possible. Okay, can I talk to you? So those dogs back there in the garage is not yours?
Mind if I go take a look at them real quick?
The woman at the house doesn't own the dogs, but she offers to pass on a message to their owner.
The way you got the chain.
The investigators fear that could take too long.
Okay.
Man, that dog. Dog. Yeah, I'm just saying, if we waiting on her to deliver a message to him, we gonna be right back out here.
They're tangled. They're living in their own feces. The garage is cluttered. She said she couldn't take them inside.
And then the pet owner don't work.
Yeah, the pet owner don't live here. That's another thing.
It's an awkward situation, but Hairston and Dow must find a solution.
I don't want to leave these dogs here. I mean, first of all, they might as well be kissing. They got them just chained up. And the pet owner does not live at this address. That's my main concern. So if we leave some info telling her to tell him to improve things, there's no telling how long that's going to take. And this is just not adequate.
Okay, man.
Since the dogs are kept at her home, the homeowner can choose to surrender them.
You surrender them?
She agrees it's for the best, and her son comes to help untangle the dogs, while Hairston requests a van to transport them.
Is it possible I can get a rescue truck over here?
Yeah, you can leave him right there, man.
While Hairston deals with the paperwork for the surrender, Dow aims to make friends with the dogs.
Hey, my man. You don't have to take that off right now. Like, get you, just give me the treat, man. Take your turn.
By the time the rescue van arrives, the dogs are nearly ready to go. They're excited at the prospect of being freed at last.
I'm just supposing all of their life, because she stated that, the dogs have been here basically all of their life. And she does not want them in her house.
The investigator's van is full, so rescue driver Corey Bachfield will take the dogs to the Humane Society's Detroit shelter.
We ain't gonna split y'all up now.
You got to surrender everything.
I would say it's probably been a long time before since they even took it for a walk. They ain't saying, she's just happy. Come on, puppy. Knock your crease out the pants. Right.
I'll meet you back at the shelter in about 5.
Okay.
At the shelter, both dogs will have their health and temperament evaluated to see if they are suitable to offer for adoption. At the Michigan Humane Society's Detroit shelter, investigators Mark Ramos and Debbie McDonald are bringing in the puppy with a fishhook in his nose. Evaluator Samir Maidarner is standing by to assess what can be done for the little dog. McDonald is concerned that the puppy's tail has been docked.
They just lopped his tail off, maybe. Maybe. And didn't pay to have it done with that.
Docking is illegal unless performed by a veterinarian.
I would be willing to bet it wasn't done at a veterinarian's office.
Dr. Shireen Sisi is called in to examine the puppy.
What do you got? Look with a fish hook stuck in his nose.
Okay, let's just take a look.
Since Sunday.
Since Sunday.
They did try to get it out.
Alright, well, that probably hurt. Okay. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna go ahead, we'll sedate him to get that out. Okay, so we'll need to wait on him? We'll need to do a little physical exam, so you wanna bring him into the clinic? Okay. Take a little look here. Look, see. I know what's wrong with your nose. We'll look at the rest of you. I'm not going to touch your nose. Okay. Alright, let's just take a look at this. You got a very worried look on her face, you do. Well, fish hooks are something that we commonly see here, and usually what you want to try to do is actually take the fish hook and push it through because of the barbs. If you try to pull it out the other way, the barbs really rip the tissue. This one's going to be kind of interesting, though, because usually we see them in like a paw or a lip, but this one's like right in the nose, so this is going to be kind of a challenge to push through, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, we're just going to give them a few minutes to go out here. What we're going to try to do, it looks like this is where the tip of the hook is. We're going to try to push it through, cut the barb off, and then pull it back the other way. If it all goes according to plan here. Alright, we'll take the thing out. We're just going to kind of gently see if we can. There comes the tip, and there's the barb. You can see that barb there. Okay, what Mara's going to do is she's going to cut just in front of that barb. You don't want that to go to anybody's eye. Alright, you got it? It's going to be, need a little more muscle there. Okay, maybe we can have Mark come over here, and we need a little more muscle here, Mark. Or just, yeah, we can just cut that off for us. There you go. Okay, back we go. All done. Okay, now we're just going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to put the dog on antibiotics because that is a puncture one. We don't want it to get infected. Clean up. Most of the time, there's not any problem. Once we get it out, usually they do fine. Put them on a little antibiotic, keep it clean, and usually they do great. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wake them up.
Well, once the puppy wakes up, we're going to let the evaluators evaluate him. Hopefully he'll pass all the temperament tests and the evaluation and go off for adoption. If nobody would have called us, that dog would have sat there until that hook fell out on his own, or got pulled out, or just rotted out of his face on its own. They weren't going to make any attempt to take that dog to a veterinarian or do anything other than what they were doing, which was nothing.
The investigators have reluctantly decided that they don't have a strong enough case against the puppy's former owner.
Legally, we don't have much to stand on. I mean, it was only in there for 2 days. It's not really long enough by law for us to do anything about. Right now, we're just happy to have the dog and have the hook out of his nose.
Just outside Detroit, a new chapter in life has begun for Uno, the kitten taken from appalling conditions in a cat collector's house.
Uno, are you getting tired? Come on.
He settled in well with his foster mom, Suzanne Zimmerly.
Obviously, he gets along well with other cats. He didn't even bat an eyelash when he saw my cats. And I don't know if he was with any dogs in his situation, but he wasn't perturbed at all by my dog either. He just kind of said, oh, hello. And that was that. And I'm hoping that when he gets adopted, that someone's going to feel like I do, that we kind of need to make amends for what he put up with as a kitten, and that someone's going to spend the rest of their life just spoiling him rotten, you know, because he deserves it.
Back at the shelter, evaluator Samir Maidarner has been working with the puppy who had a fish hook in his nose. The wound has healed well, but now the little dog faces the hurdle of a temperament test before he can be offered for adoption.
He seems to be a friendly puppy and playful, and he loves to be around people.
Maidarner needs to assess whether the puppy becomes aggressive when defending his food bowl.
You see, he likes to play more than his food. me more than this food, my dog. Come on.
Madonna tries to get the puppy interested in the food.
Good boy. Yeah, good boy. That's good. I'm looking for aggression, any type of aggression, but he's not showing me anything. You can see here, he's wagging his tail. He's friendly, eating a little bit faster, but that's not a problem at all. Good boy. You see how friendly he is? Yeah, that's friendly boy.
The puppy has passed with flying colors.
Good boy.
Of the 2 dogs that were found tied up with a short, tangled chain, one has passed the Michigan Humane Society's temperament test. She has a new name, Maddie, and a new home with Ted Estrich.
I got laid off in November, so I've got some free time on my hands, and I just thought it was time for a dog. And I didn't, I wanted to rescue a dog. I wanted to get one from the pound, and I didn't want to go out and buy one when there's dogs that need homes in the Humane Society. And then we went to Rochester, and I just fell in love with Maddie. I know that Maddie started out in Detroit, was taken out of an abusive environment, and was at the Detroit Humane Society for quite a while, but nobody picked her up. Then moved out to Rochester, where I found her. She kind of walked up to me and then, showed me some attention, then kind of blew me off and walked away. And I said, I don't want a dog that's too needy, but, her size, her looks, her personality. She's just the perfect dog, and still is.
Ted's nieces and nephews love to make a fuss of Maddie, and she loves them.
She's wonderful with kids. She's good with everybody. All dogs, all people. She's wonderful. From what I understand, she was locked up in a garage in Detroit. It's hard for me to believe it that she was abused because of her nature now, She saw like 8 trainers, and I got to see their comments on her. And each one of them said, a wonderful dog, just a great personality. And then somebody at the top wrote in big bold letters, this dog is a treasure. And she truly is. She's a wonderful dog. Maddie has brought happiness to my home. She is a constant companion, goes with me everywhere. And it's just a fun-loving dog, just really well-natured, and just a happy-go-lucky dog, And I think glad to be here. She is a wonderful dog. She's great with everybody.
It's been several weeks since investigators brought a puppy and a skinny shepherd mix into the care of the Michigan Humane Society. Their owner soon called in, attempting to claim the puppy. But since then, the investigators believe that she has been avoiding contact with them, despite several visits to her home. Any case against her could go no further from now. Unexpectedly, the puppy turned out to be aggressive, and the Humane Society decided she could not be offered for adoption. The skinny shepherd mix must pass his temperament test.
Jamie stopped because he was very unsure what I was doing.
And will the puppy overcome the traumas in his past? Find out when Animal Cops Detroit returns. The Shepherd Mix, now named Hubble, has spent a lot of time with evaluator Jan Ramos. He's responded well to her.
Do you want back on the scale? Come on. 69.6. You gained almost 15 pounds, sir. Wow. When Hubble first came in, he weighed 55.7, and right now we're at 69.6. So he put on quite a bit of weight. The temperament testing, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure he's going to be a good candidate for adoption. What we don't want is we will not place aggressive animals up for adoption. So we're going to see how he handling, and how he is with his food bowl. if a dog has a solid temperament, a dog is going to have a solid temperament. His problem is he was put in a backyard, he was chained up, so how much sociability he actually got. He bonded very well with me, and we love each other. Being a shelter employee, you get attached to everybody. You really do. You know, you want the very best for them, and it's hard not to care about them. Right?
Evaluator Daniela Lawman will help Ramos assess the dog's behavior.
What we're going to do is we're going to offer him food. What do I have for you? I have something good. I have something good for Hubble. Yes, I do. We're going to let him eat a little bit. And then just like a lot of people do in their household, what we're going to do is... Okay, he stopped because he was very unsure what I was doing. He's kicking off. Now he froze. It's a little bit concerning.
And he wants to touch you out a couple of times already.
And he's very cautious about where I go. Let me have that. How about getting that? Let me have it. He's freezing. He's pushing into the hand. Let me have that.
But he does freeze every time you start.
Every time I touch him. Well, he's very concerned that we're in his area right now. And that concerns me. Just imagine if you were home and you really didn't think about it. And let's say you wanted to go put something tasty in his bowl, or he accidentally got something and you just wanted to reach over to your dog. He would bite you.
Or if you had a little kid who decided,
Yeah,
or I'm going to play around with my dog, and the dog was eating, what would happen to that child if the dog had this reaction to food? The child would be severely injured.
Right now he's being possessive over his food. What happens if he grabs a shoe, or he decides he doesn't want you on the couch? And that's why we temperament test. We want to make sure that people are going to be very happy with the animals that they adopt from the Michigan Humane Society, and we screen our dogs because we want them to get into a house where they're going to have a lifetime home.
We have to be the bad guys, and essentially we have to be the ones to say that even though this dog has a wonderful personality, he is very, very bad with his food bowl, and he will bite someone.
Yeah, you're a big fat baby.
Miles away, there's a happier ending for the puppy who had a fishhook stuck in his nose. He's been adopted by Erica Rubel, who's named him Nemo. He makes a great companion for Erica's daughter and nephew.
My husband has had about 4 pets, and he got all of them from the Humane Society. Who's that? Yeah. My husband had wanted a Labrador, and my husband had wanted a terrier, and I had wanted a Labrador, and it so happens also that he's a Lab Terrier mix, so we were like, okay, that's perfect. Oh, Nemo. Come here, Nemo. He just has so much love, he's just so loving and caring, and he just couldn't have asked for anything more in a pet.